Okay, so what we have on gold is we are currently at area of support for price to go up at least to the ATR, may even go as high as the green line, which is from the 180-minute chart. Now, right now, it's testing this area, which is an ATR on the 720-minute chart. So we could actually see gold go up today. Um, Let me type a message in here. Let's see. You have to click on the telephone icon and then join via computer. All right. Now, right now, this bar just started forming, but if we have divergence here, we could see the magenta peak come in. We do have the ATR on the 1440 is at 1169, and that value is moving up and down. So we could even see it come down to this red line on gold before it decides to go up. When it does go up, I do anticipate it right now going to 1190, which is the ATR from the 180-minute chart. We're not seeing a lot of selling coming into gold. And that's one of the reasons I think we might actually see increase in price. Any questions on gold? Well, then I am doing good. All right, let's see what crude looks like today. Now, over on my other screen, just so y'all know, I do have all of the time frames open, which is the 1440, the 720, the 180, the 45, the 12, and the 3. One thing I would point out is the 3 minute is really gappy across all the markets. So we're having slow market movement, and that's predominantly why. On the 1440, we are in a congestion area on crude that pretty much matches a congestion area that's on the 180 as well. So that's something to be aware of. We are at an ATR on the 720-minute chart, and we have not had sellers coming into the market. So I would still expect a bounce up. The problem is on crude that you have this line of congestion dots and an ATR on the 180-minute chart that's actually preventing crude from going up. It needs to break that resistance area, then it will come back to retest it before it can continue up to 61.61. If this area continues to hold price down, we could actually see crude go down to 57.10. The only other thing that could potentially stop it is 59.51, which again, that's this tan line here, and that shows us that there is an ATR from the 720-minute chart. Does everybody understand that? And I mean, I'm gonna, well, Let's see how well I can do this. I'm going to try to share my other screen. Can everybody see the screen now? You've got congestion here, congestion here, congestion here, and congestion here. In fact, the only one that does not have congestion on crude is a 720. I would not be real ambitious on trading crude today. You just don't have enough area for movement there. It's not something I would want to do. Okay, I took it back to my 45-minute chart. And for those of you that know, I did buy extra wide monitor, and I must say I love it because I can have my charts and my scanner on one window, which is pretty cool. Best Buy had them on sale for $260, and I'm thinking about going to extra wide on all of my monitors just for that reason. Okay, on the Nasdaq, we have flipped the ATR on the 1440 and on the 720. I'm not seeing a lot of buyers coming in at this point, but we haven't moved very much either. I think it's 30 inches, Dave. And the thing of it is, Dave, it's got extremely high resolution. So if you had a 30 inch with a resolution of 1080, it's not that great. But if you have a 30 inch that has a 3000 resolution and it's right at 3000, then you can put a lot more on that screen. I got the one by LG, and I really like it. I think the resolution is it's really high. It's right at 3000. Oh, it really does. So, yeah, that's pretty much the equivalent of it, Dave. Yeah, it works great with multi-charts. Multi-charts has a really good resolution anyway. Um, that's the reason I like their charts so well is the resolution of them. And then when you add that with a high resolution monitor, you save your eyes a lot of stress. All right, back to the chart. So on the 1440, we are getting potential divergence. We're also getting potential divergence on the 720. On the 180, we are in a congestion area, and it's trying to make its way back to the congestion dot, which is this green line right here. You can see as they approach the ATR here that they were unable to break that ATR. You see that there was divergence in sellers. That would have been a great small trade on the 45-minute chart. Once it gets to this green line, we're going to have to wait and see if they're able to break it. Once they do break it, as you know, they typically will come back and test that same area. So that would actually give me a secondary entry if I was not already in this. Okay? Any questions on the NASDAQ? We'll go over to the Dow, and I'm waiting on the charts to load. Now, on the Dow, we pretty much have the same scenario, and that we're in a congestion area on the 1440. You're getting potential divergence. That would not be confirmed until the end of today. You also have potential divergence on the 720. Again, that would not be confirmed until 6 o'clock tonight. On the 180, which I think is probably the most important one today, we are in a congestion area. Initially, when they approached the congestion dot, they did it on high volume, and it seems like there are no sellers stepping into this market. Now, on the 45-minute Dow, you see that we are retracing to the ATR here. The congestion dot from the 180 is here. So as it looks right now, you see that absolutely no sellers came into this market. It's at least probably going to make its way back to this ATR. Are you seeing the Dow chart or no, Dan? Yeah, that's the only one I'm showing. I'm not showing the other screen. So I'm expecting it to at least get back to this ATR. It may even go up to 18114. That is the congestion dot that's currently being plotted over on the 180-minute chart. If it does break this, then of course it will come back and test to make sure that that supports price, and that would give you a secondary entry. First entry was here, and I doubt very seriously very many people were up besides me to trade that. Okay. Any questions on the Dow? On the S&P, I do anticipate it getting to the ATR and the congestion dot, and then we would need to analyze volume. Again, if it goes through these, it will come back and test for support. I mean, the Dow, the NASDAQ, and the ES all pretty much have the same patterns. The only difference is the NASDAQ stopped at the ATR. The Dow, the S&P actually stopped at the congestion dot. So are there any questions on the indices today? And again, if you look at your 3-minute, it really looks bad to trade that 3-minute today. And that's typical for summertime too, because we slow down. We have to bump it up a little bit. On the euro, we're getting to the point of being oversold. I'm not seeing any divergence right now, so I do think it will make it down to the red line. Today, they are having still these talks on Greece and whether it will stay in the European Union. So watch out, especially on the euro, because if they come out and say, okay, we're not going to reach an agreement, you're going to get a lot of volatility in that euro. Now, yeah, it still has not broken all the way through this 1236 area. I would have expected it to come down more. We may see that on this bar. But again, I am not seeing significant divergence right now on the euro. Okay. Would we anticipate a retracement today because the ADX is at 69? Yes, we would. Okay. And that's what I would like to see is some type of retracement. I may even trade the retracement depending on what time of the morning it is. We do have 8:30 core durable goods, and we also have at 8 o'clock this morning the FOMC member speaking, and he's specifically speaking about a potential increase in the rates later on in this year. So that may cause some volatility in the markets as well. Any questions on the euro? We are actually trying to go down. It's forming a congestion dot on the 720 right now, and that congestion dot is right around 1100. So pretty much where this red line is, a little bit lower. And you've got the congestion dot on the 720 as well. Any questions on the euro? On the British pound today, we do have a retracement back to the ATR on the 720. It's just a few ticks away from that 720. Okay. We do have a magenta peak that is coming in on the 1440 that will push price down to about 5,500. You also see that we've gone back and we have tested the ATR here on the 45-minute chart. You've actually had two entries on that. You had an entry here, then you had an entry over here. I do think it will get down towards 5,500 because of that magenta peak. The only thing that I see that could potentially stop it would be around the 5628 area, which is actually a congestion dot from the 1440. Now, for those of you that want to know, I missed that entry. Can I enter now? No, because you're right at an ATR on the 12-minute chart. I would let it flip that ATR. More than likely, we'll go back and test for resistance. Then you could enter again. The congestion dot right now on the 12-minute is coming in at 57.55. No, my ATR is 55.49. I'm eyeballing it down. So it's right at 5,500. Any questions on the British pound? We may get a magenta peak on the 180. It just doesn't look like we're going to get it right now. I would anticipate the magenta peak if it comes down and touches the stop on the 720, which is this line here. If it comes down and touches this, then we could get that bounce, which equates to a 180-minute magenta peak. Do y'all understand that one? They really do work together there. Do y'all understand that? Okay, let's go and look at the Swiss franc. Now, the Swiss franc is oversold over on the 45-minute chart. What I'm not seeing right now is divergence. Normally, remember we get divergence before we get the magenta peak. So I'm expecting it to go lower first and then give us a magenta peak. Now, it is going back towards the ATR that is on the 1440, and that's this red line here. We also, on the 720, we have this tan line here. So that is a congestion dot. This tan line is the ATR. So I'm expecting it still to go lower just because we have not had that divergence. Now, we may get it at the end of this bar, but that's another 20 minutes almost. So a lot could change in 20 minutes. Now, the retracement on the 45-minute, if we do get this magenta peak, that's typically not one that I will trade because the 3-minute is just awful on the Swiss franc. So on the Swiss franc, the lowest time frame I trade is the 12-minute chart. Any questions on that, guys? Yeah, it's extremely gappy. But just about all the markets yesterday and today on the 3-minute, Dave, have been really, really gappy. And it's, everybody's sitting back in anticipation of this Greek decision. I think yesterday the Dow moved 80 points, and 80 points is nothing for the Dow. That's like a hiccup. Yep, it sure did. That was the high. Alex, I don't have silver set up on here. I'm going to add some more now that I have the new computer. I just haven't done it yet. Tomorrow, I'm hoping that the markets are a little bit more active. Um, let's see if we have any major market reports tomorrow. Well, we have the Euro group meetings again tomorrow, and then we have the final GDP. We do have crude oil inventories tomorrow at 10:30, and that's about it. That's all we have. So, any questions this morning, guys? I will post the video later today. I've just got to render it, and then upload it. Usually, I do it after 12 o'clock today. Are there any questions? We will meet again tomorrow morning at 7:30. Any other questions, though? Yeah, I'm not even interested in what I'm seeing right now. We're going to have some major changes before I go in the market just because it's so slow. And I mean, some of that is because I don't want to sit in front of the computer all day, too. You know, yeah, did I forget to do that Sunday, Dan? I forgot about that. Oh, that is just like me today. I'll go back and put the times up, Dan. That would help, wouldn't it? That is so cute. I would do something like that. I don't think I did actually. I think I just said click here to join. I forgot to put the time. I still haven't set all my platforms up on the new computer. It took forever, I think, to start the audio portion this morning. So, well, at least the sound's good this morning. It's not flashing on and off. What happened was there was a glitch that allowed when anybody joined from an iPad, um, it actually took everybody off of mute. That's the reason I couldn't have the sessions last week because it interferes dramatically with the presentation when you're trying to mute everybody and it won't let you. I told him I thought a ghost was in my computer. All right, guys, I'm going to go ahead and let you go, and then I'm going to try to finish setting up my computer. I hope everybody has a wonderful day trading. Again, watch that 3 minute because when it gets gappy, you do not want to trade it. Okay?